Glad to have you back. If you're just joining us, you're watching The Conversation right here on Lagos Television. Now, the Osun State Governorship Election has come and gone, but the significance, political significance, is likely to resonate far beyond the boundaries of the state. Now, Governor Ademola Adeleke has secured a second term, defeating the APC candidate Bola Oyebamiji, also known as Ambo, in a keenly contested election that attracted considerable national attention. Beyond the victory and defeat, however, are important questions about voter preferences, the performance of the incumbent administration, opposition strategy, the role of political alliances, and the conduct of the electoral process. With the 2027 general elections now drawing closer, what does the Osun result tell us about the mood of the electorate and the evolving political landscape in the Southwest? I'll be here alone in the studio. Joining me is a human rights activist, a constitutional lawyer, president, Voter Awareness Initiative, Barrister Wale Ogunade. It's a pleasure to join us this morning.
Thank you for inviting
Also
me.
joining us shortly via Zoom as well is a political affairs commentator, a lawyer, Barrister Liborous Oshoma. He'll be joining us via Zoom this morning. First, I'd just like to know, despite all the hula baloo, the attention, the traffic to Osun State, what would you say is your assessment of or the major factors that determine the outcome of the Osun governorship election?
Performance, 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 performance. Deliverable of dividends of democracy. Simple. And I hope both the politicians and political science students, and of course our professors in university, will look at Ademola Adeleke as a touchstone in Nigeria to show that indeed, if you perform, it does not matter the hype, it does not matter the weapons formed against you, it does not matter the powers that be. Once the people are behind you, because the schoolboy will define democracy as what? Government of the people.
By the people.
By the people.
And for the people.
And for the people. The people of Osun has spoken. And I'm a member of the Kagai's Club when I was in school. And the people have spoken well.
No, okay. So are you ascribing his victory to his performance in office? We have had people, especially those from the ruling party at the federal level, criticizing. Okay. We've had critics criticizing Mr. Ademola Adeleke that all he does is dancing, he does not have business and governance. And at the end of the day, were you surprised at what played out on Saturday in Osun State, despite the volume of violence that we experienced prior to that election, and the volume of security and the presence of the members of the APC in Osun State? Were you surprised at the result?
I wasn't surprised. The man is a phenomenon. The dancing...
He calls himself bulldozer.
The dancing itself is another gimmick, is another trait, is another brand. He gets there, don't forget. I mean, people are looking sorrowful or something. The music start bearing. A whole governor start dancing. People will move. I pastor a church. And most of the time, I start dancing. I see my people, my parishioners. They start dancing because I'm the leader. I've given them some inspiration. He's an inspiration. That's one, too. Not only does he dance, he works very well. I was in Osun during the era of Aregbesola. If you know Aregbe, and people who are in Osun State will confirm this, that the road to the government house itself was pothole-riddled. And the man wanted to come again for a re-election. Well, after him, Oyetola was coming. And of course, that was the state of affairs when the election was on ground. And you want people to vote them in? And this is somebody who has now performed. And sentiments, because of what? People are looking for those who ensure that
Who deliver.
they deliver. Not even issue of so much infrastructure now. Ayodele, Fayoshi. No, we want a performer.
Okay, let me take.
We have joining us via Zoom, Barrister Liborous Oshoma, lawyer, public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure to have you as well.
Thank you for having me. And my
Josh, you're this one.
greetings and regards to my friend and brother Wale Ogunade in the studio.
Thank you,
okay,
my
so
brother.
So Oga Oshoma, the question is, despite the hula baloo that greeted Osun election, and Barrister Ogunade said it's about performance here, will you say it's performance, or did political structures, personality, and alliances play a bigger role in ensuring that he becomes the governor-elect of Osun State?
First and foremost, let me file a caveat here that election in Nigeria, there are no level playing fields. Wale Ogunade can attest to what I am saying. There are no level playing field. You have to, buy your own bulldozer and create a level playing field for your people. So, where you want to operate. And so, against that backdrop, everything you have mentioned played out in that election. And now you would say a popular candidate won the election because he defeated an incumbent before. And in fact, this is the third election he's contesting. The first one, it was obvious that he won that election, but the dynamics of playing level feed and non-level feed played out, and the rerun in Ife, saw Oyetola emerging as the candidate of that election, as the victorious candidate of that election. Then came the 2022 election where he defeated Oyetola. And now, as governor, before the election, there have been so many, like you said, hula baloo about level playing field, about sliding into a one-party state, about withheld funds of local government, and then the EFCC freezing of the state account. And then the height of all of that was the president's directive, personally signed by him. The moment that happened, a lot of pundits, saw the handwriting and said this election is going to be transparent, it's going to be fair. So there will be no muzzling, even though the APC in the state, did everything they could within their powers to see how they can upturn the election. But it was obvious that Jackson Nuruddin Adeleke was more popular, and eventually he emerged. So that is why immediately the results were announced. The first person that called him, from what we gathered, was the president. And immediately also he was delivering his acceptance speech. If you go back to that speech, he said that he used the opportunity to thank the president and then reaffirm his support and endorsement.
But some people will say he's speaking from both sides of the mouth. I remember so many accusations before this election that said, Mr. President, but I promised to support you. Why are you doing this to us? And here you are.
Politicians speak from both sides of their mouths. So it is for you to understand the side that, the pressure weighs more on. Politicians, every notable politician in Nigeria, including those abroad, they speak from both sides of their mouths.
Liberals don't mind him.
So for you to understand...
Liberals don't mind him. He knows what we are doing. He's just playing the devil's advocate here. But be that as it may, it's the body language. The man we all understand.
Yes, it is the body language. It is the body language that you should take. Forget what they say. So, and then after thanking the people, he thanked his brother. You notice he prostrated before his brother, who is the de facto governor, like some people have said. And then he thanked the people, he thanked the president. So there are a lot of things that have played out in that election. And you cannot also rule out the fact that the man's performance and the man's popularity has grown. Also, Nigerians believe so much in the underdog. And that's why we're very sympathetic people. The moment you are, even if you are, if you remember in a Edo election during Oshomole, even if you are the aggressor, the moment there is, seemingly perception of oppression against you from the federal, Nigerians will naturally support you.
Okay.
When Wike was in opposition, every commissioning was an opportunity to insult Buhari. Nigerians supported him. The moment he joined those oppressors, they saw him as, now this man has joined those people who are oppressing us. So Ademola is popular. you know that the family owns the whole of Ede constituency, and so he has also worked. And the dancing, it shows that the people really do not mind the dancing, like Wale Ogunade has said. It energizes them, it generates that positive vibes, and so they feel, look, you can't come and oppress this man. I don't have, sorry, Osun has consistently been a battleground.
Yes.
Remember in 2011 election?
Yes.
When the then APC government, the ACN government agreed that they were going to go the way of Jonathan. Ole Osun went the way of the candidate of the ACN, Nuhu Ribadu. Even in the last election, we saw the way it played out. So it's always been a battleground, and they are very sophisticated voters in the state. And so that.
Okay, Barrister Ogunade, beyond the victory of Jackson Ademola Nuruddin now, who's going to serve the people of Osun State, our state, for the next 4 years. Let's talk about the quality of this election, and what does this say about the transparency of INEC 1? And as somebody who is interested in the level of awareness of voters, how would you rate the level of voter education prior to this election, and of course the inducement that we saw on TV on Saturday?
For once, I'm happy with Tinubu. He has proved his title as Jagaban. Why do I say this? We were in the trenches together. So he is interested, and he is a political animal who really knows the dynamics of politics. Before the election, we all knew that PDP had problems. And as the law reveals, such a political party that is divided obviously cannot present candidates for an election. He quickly chose a platform, another platform, that's Adeleke.
Accord.
Before Accord, did all he could to get into APC. But because there was this animosity and rivalry between Oyetola and himself, and Oyetola controlling the lever of the political system, political system in Osun State, elbowed him out.
Yeah.
So after elbowing him, meanwhile, Oga at the top told them, look, allow this man, put him there. They said no. Maybe Oga, I know now, this thing is like your children at home. You know what it will happen now. Kule, I hope there's no Kule around though. Relax for Tunde. And both of them refused to, and the daddy will know where it's going. So the man kept mute. This is the result now. And of course, the man did not waste time. Don't forget, Tinubu is a political scientist, calculator, strategist. Meanwhile, where are we going? This whole Osun election is the last chance for all political parties to know where they belong. There's no smooth. Any election in Nigeria, Osun is always the decider. And this one is not an exception. And that's why Adeleke is now the beautiful bride. But I can assure you that he knows his onions very well. Don't forget, he's not only winning election, I can assure you. If he does not behave himself, you know government now. Government, federal government, you know. So, but I know he will behave. Why? Because he knows that an Obasanjo. I lie, my brother.
No, don't be lying.
Liborous, talk about the performance of INEC and the level of voter awareness in this particular election.
Yes, before Liborous comes in, INEC has no option to do what they have to do, because all eyes are on them, including the president. He's looking at them. And of course, to now take the carpet from under their feet, sending a congratulation message. After congratulations,
what else?
Okay, Liborous, you want to speak to that? The performance of INEC and the level of voter awareness in Osun State. People settled allegedly now that some parties were sharing 50,000 naira, 40,000 naira. At the end of the day, the people decided who they want through their votes.
Everybody, like I always say, every politician would rig election in where they are popular. Thanks to people like my friend and comrade Wale Ogunade, since 1999, he's been at the vanguard of creating awareness for voters. And you saw that the turnout of voters this time was higher than the turnout of the voters in 2022 election in the same Osun. So that shows that the people really, embrace the process, and INEC gave them opportunity to, do that. And then also, it shows that all of the skirmishes, all of the banters, all of the crises before the election, that if the government of the day truly wants, a credible process, certainly, INEC will have no other, option but to look at the body language. And like Wale has said, it is clear, the political calculation, it's only people who are politically naive, who are not seeing the hand of 2027 in this. The man pleaded to join APC, but those people at the states, just like Enugu, felt if this man comes to APC, he will be our leader. So that means we'll be relinquished to the second FIDO. So no, we will not agree. We can do this ourselves. And then the man who is interested in 2027 felt, well, if I assist these people, first and foremost, Oyetola Sani Kubet was defeated by this same man. Then secondly, the Omishore angle, you cannot, underestimate that factor also. Omishore in 2022, before 2022, felt, he left PDP and joined APC, assisted the APC to win. And then he had also felt that he would get the candidature. They didn't give him. So that effect as is also played a very large, prominent role in the election. And so the president looking at the calculation, if you remove a popular candidate, you would divide your votes in Osun. So would it not be better? Allow the popular candidate, your people are already your people. Like he had said, two brothers fighting. It's okay, you know what? Let the popular one go. You already are the federal. The popular one will still support the president. The one at the federal will support the president. At the end of the day, 700 and something thousand votes in the kits in Osun. Political calculation. Home and dry. My point in all of this, despite the massive awareness and the turnout of voters, one would have expected that the political parties, opposition political parties that want to, contest for the presidency, the ADC,
would have. In fact, you took the question off our mouth, so let us go there.
I didn't see them. They didn't come to the party. Some people are saying maybe because of their court cases, but at least some of ADC, their court cases over. One would have expected that they will use this to show that they are forced to be reckoned with. Considering the fact that the public holiday minister, Raouf is the secretary of the party, and he was a former governor in that state. 17,000 is abysmal.
17,000, yeah, exactly. And perhaps let's just piggyback on how opposition feel, because all of them now, Adeleke is now the bride of all opposition. They feel that Nigerians won, but I feel it's a keenly contested election. 511 to 450
yes,
something.
Contested.
If the APC candidate had gotten about 30,000 votes more, it would have gone into a rerun because there won't be a clear winner in that election. So having said that, congratulations to Adeleke. But what will you say about ADC, even Accord? Because we have Adeleke saying categorically on national TV that Mr. President, I will support because one, he's a Yoruba man, and because he believed in me. So how do you explain why opposition feel that they are getting new leave of life now at the moment? They feel that if Adeleke, despite all the bombardment of federal might in quotes now, he won, they feel that they can win 2027 election because Adeleke has literally turned the tide. What do you have to say?
You see, is Adeleke a member of the opposition, a member of the ruling party? Adeleke is an arm of the ruling party bearing a different name. Adeleke did not beg to join ADC. He did not beg to join NDC. When he left PDP, he begged to join the ruling party. If not for Oyetola and Oyebamiji and co, he probably would have been in APC today. So, in that regard, I don't see him in the mode of the opposition, the way the opposition are claiming this victory. Oh, yes, it's going to... because Adeleke, one would expect that if truly he is the opposition that they want us to believe, in his, thank you speech, he would have stated clearly that now after the election, it is for the opposition to galvanize. He's thanking Mr. President and re-endorsing him. So showing you that, look, I might be wearing the toga of Accord, but body and spirit, I am with Mr. President on this. Just like the election in Anambra State, after Soludo had won the election. So, I think the opposition needs to work twice as hard, because first and foremost, they are divided among ranks. The House is divided. Unlike the 2023 election, where even for somebody like Peter Obi, people came and, a lot of the things he said were not questioned. But today, people are beginning to question every interview he grants. And some of his supporters are asking now and even saying, please, Oga, keep quiet small, talk less. Because the more you talk, the more you're giving,
damage.
Mileage. And then also the fact that Atiku, as we speak, it is like Atiku was in government. His principal recently also came to demarcate him. No matter how we look at it, no matter how we hate Obasanjo, those were blows below the belt. And now Nigerians will be coming from somebody also who is from the north. Nigerians are also asking, must it be a northerner left not too long ago? Why is it that any time it is turn of the south, the north will continue to complain? So all of these complaints also are in the mix. So when opposition talk, you need them to do work twice as hard as they did it. Not even twice, because if you say 17,000 plus 17,000 plus 17,000, it still does not match. So for Aregbe, who was a former governor, who rode on the back of Tinubu, and then now people still see him, they still don't trust him. They still see him as, the Tinubu. So some people are saying that was a guarantee that even before the election, that the Tinubu Aregbe will not decamp again. Then for Kwankwaso being an astute politician, and then they feel he's more qualified than some politicians feel he's more qualified than Obi, that he should be the running mate. But if you look at the permutation, I might be wrong. Kwankwaso is bidding his time for 2031, believing that if he aligns with the obedient movement candidate, then certainly by 2021, he would ride on that popularity, which is gradually waning. And if that is not clear to him as a politician that he is, he might afikoyame the process. On the day of election, he might even declare for APC. So, because if you listen to the public secretary of the APC in Kano, he said it was Kwankwaso that orchestrated their move. Initially, their move to APC. He was the one that called the governor to say, go and speak with Mr. President, because the political party, NNPP, can no longer take us back to government house. So there are still a lot that the opposition need to do. And every election has consistently shown that they are truly not in the game. They are not ready. They are more on the internet, just like Peter Obi. You see other politicians are going around with politicians. He's going around with skit makers. And then you think that 2023 will repeat itself.
skit makers.
That's not fair.
I agree with him. I adopt every sentiment. In fact, brilliant analysis. Do I need to say anything?
You still have to say something.
I want to adopt everything you have said.
Do you agree that Omishere was actually the joker for this particular election one? And what will happen to the likes of Oyetola, Oyinlola, Aregbesola, and a couple of others politically now? Now that the bulldozer himself, Mr. Governor, has returned for another 4-year term. Politically, do you think they will still be relevant, or there are possibilities that they might cross carpet to the APC again?
No, my brother Liborous just said it. They are all APC in body and so who wants to cross carpet? Is it Oyetola? He's already there. Who? All those people, all of them. And don't forget, Tinubu is not a small fry. He needs everybody's vote.
But on the surface, Omishere was what is it called now? Was APC.
Yes.
But he delivered for Accord.
That's politics now. Don't forget, all politics is local. 1, 2, interest in politics. The only thing that is permanent in politics is your own interest. Whatever it is, once you know that your interest is at stake, don't forget now, Abba, is it not Omishere? And is it not Tinubu? Man has the lever of the political structure now, the federal government, to give. See, is it not, what's his name now? Fayoshe. Where is he now?
He's been appointed.
Okay, the fact is, we do know that Oh, okay. We need to take a very short break. I was about to switch the gears into at the national level, how this is working out. But we'll take a very short break. We'll go pay some bills. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Glad to have you back. If you're just joining us, we've been speaking about the just concluded Osun Governorship Election. We are reviewing it, the implication for the people of Osun, and of course the political landscape nationally. Well, we have with us in the studio a constitutional lawyer, president, Voters Awareness Initiative, and human rights activist, Barrister Wale Ogunade, as well as joining us via Zoom is Barrister Liborous Oshoma, a lawyer, a political affairs commentator, dissecting the conversation of today. Well, we're about to shift gears to number one. If you conduct any poll in Osun, I'm from Osun State. Jibola is from Osun State. If you conduct any poll in Osun, Aregbesola is not a popular candidate by no stretch whatsoever, because literally what he succeeded in doing is to divide the state, and Osun is not known for that. But having said that, I believe that what does this say about him being the national secretary of the ADC with his, and we have Atiku in Osun, we have Aregbesola in Osun for the elections, and the candidate got a paltry 17,000 votes. Vis-a-vis the two other candidates, it's like between night and day. How do you explain the quest for one, President Tinubu is anti-opposition, is not allowing opposition party breathe, plus Osun winning, an opposition figure in Osun winning? How do you marry the two sides of opposition trying to thrive, Tinubu being accused, even though he went beyond his bound to stop EFCC from probing, which is within the purview of EFCC in the first place? But how do you see all this playing out?
In the area of Aregbesola, it's unfortunate that Aregbesola will behave that way. Unfortunately, Osun is the cradle of Yoruba land, and the Yorubas are known to be omoluabis. Your word
should be your bound.
You're bound. And it is not done in Yoruba land that you bite the finger. I've heard you. No, that's not done. And I'm happy the way the Osun people, particularly his constituency, the Ilesha people, they delivered. In fact, boast out to you people. Nonsense. Look at it now, my people. You have been brought up by somebody. You work together. When he was running for the Osun governorship, don't forget that history is there. And this same Oyinlola was giving him pepper with the PDP. Yeah. Jagaban stood by him. His office as commissioner was reserved for him, and he was there in Osun battling. And some of us were in the trenches. And now, he now found new lovers. Friends. And my advice to NDC, what is that their party? ADC. My advice is that you begin to, this man is a political band wagon, is a how do they call it? Is a minus. No, there is a language used, maybe Oshoma will help me. Is it a luggage? Political luggage that is useless. He will not give them any electoral victory. Counting on them, it's a sign of, if you can't deliver your constituency, then you now say that's grandstanding.
Barrister Oshoma, because we need to let you go quickly. Do you agree with Barrister Wale Ogunade that Rauf Aregbesola does not have any electoral value again?
Let me use the word of Honorable Patrick Obayan. I'm a perfect simulacrum with his submission. And I will dare to add that if you remember, who is Rauf Aregbesola? Rauf Aregbesola, people, those that knew him before 1999, with the refrigerator technician in a shop. And Tinubu made him commissioner for works. When he, like Wale has said, when he went to Osun, in fact, it was the Tinubu's incursion into Osun that took Aregbe to that place. And even the boys that worked with him were selected from Lagos, and the commissionership position was reserved. And if you remember, let us take our mind back to what Oshibanjo said. Oshibanjo said, Tinubu called him and said, how do we prove irregularity in the election tribunal? He said, Oshibanjo said, he told Tinubu that it has never been done before, except we bring fingerprint analysts. He said, if it has never been done before, do it. Go and get that person wherever he is in the world. They went to bring Adrian Forty from UK, the fingerprint analyst, if you remember. Even brought a limb, amputated limb to the tribunal. In that tribunal, you remember, there were accusations. Justice Naro and Otumba Kalajai, my Ebo and Daddy, there were accusations against them. So that was to ensure that Aregbesola gets there. No matter what happened between him and Tinubu, Aregbe, the fact that he went to become minister and was only declaring public holiday, and look at the minister for Interior today, has shown that Interior can be more than public holiday. The fact that he went there and no matter the misunderstanding, he ought to have looked back and said, no, I can't bite the finger that fed me. I think that is what the Oshu people are indirectly telling him, that in the reckoning, political reckoning of this state, you are a non-entity. It is people like Tinubu that brought you here. And so the fact that you remove your umbilical cord from the mother hen that brought you here, then certainly you can't survive on your own. And so he's a political baggage. I agree completely there's a political baggage. The election has shown clearly that he is. And those on ground, you see the struggle and the fight. And the 2027 election will just play out like that. And that is why the ADC people, when they talk in the South here, they'll say, well, don't worry, the North will deal with Tinubu. So I begin to ask myself, so you know you can't deal with him, so you are waiting for the North to do it for you. And you think that you have one monolithic North. The middle belt, where you used to have killings in Kaduna, you no longer hear. Those people also are voters. Those people in Jos Plateau, those people in Nasarawa who felt shortchanged with the Muslim ticket before now.
In Benue North.
I have forgotten the name of the deputy campaign DG of the NDC, of the Obidati in 2020.
He's now in APC.
To say, well, yes, he's now in APC, and they felt shortchanged by the Labour Party, and so now they are moving because they are being compensated. So you forget all of those ones and think that one monolithic North will be the decider for you. So this election has shown that all of these people are the same. You remember, after that election, when in 2015, when Tinubu took Buhari to Obasanjo to help them navigate them to power, Aregbe Oyilola, one of the Obasanjo boys from the military, were some of those who moved into APC. And the question some of us asked was, what now happened to those amputated limbs and those crises between Aregbe and Oyilola? And today, they have resolved. So it is the same thing. Oshu, like Wale Ogunade has said, had always been a decider. They play politics without bitterness. The politics without bitterness of GMPP, Waziri Ibrahim. At the end of the day, they will not dance to do Thanksgiving. Everybody will realign. And come 2027, I can tell you, the president knew what he's doing. And come 2027, you will see all of them working together in that election. The focus might not even be there so much because your people already know that it's a foreclosed and forgone issue. So for me, I think the opposition and Aregbesola should either retrace their step or work, double their effort. Instead of, and then the idea of, one party state. If you are not able to put your house in order, politicians always look for who to blame. It is not the ruling party that says you should go and buy a political party with crisis. In 2022, Dumebi Kachukwu took ADC to court on the ground that Ralph Nwosu, who was national chairman, was the leader of the party, was the national chairman for 16 years to 2022, and he didn't conduct election as prescribed by the Electoral Act. It wasn't the ruling party of today that encouraged Dumebi Kachukwu. So these issues were already there. Nafiu Bala also went to court. So if you create a crisis in your party, certainly you don't blame the ruling party, for looking for mole in your party to further deepen those crises. It shows that you can't actually manage
your party.
men and material.
All right. We must thank you very much, Barrister Liborous Oshoma, lawyer, political affairs analyst, for your time on the program this morning.
Always my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, I need to ask you this maybe before you go, perhaps how this play out, but about Davido factor, because we can't rule out the fact that the governor used the influence of his nephew to either push out very fake news sometimes, good news, or shout. In fact, one time he called Donald Trump to come and help out in an election of a sub-national. I've never seen that before. While Donald Trump is even battling his own challenge. So how do you explain? Did he play any factor in this election?
A war, all is fair.
You are using the word of Mr. President.
The war, all is fair. You use what you have
to get what you want.
Entertainment is a big issue. Don't forget, these youths, they don't even want to think anything. It's music, and the man is a star. So he's for all intents and purposes, he's even a brand on its own to win votes. Davido is alone, not to talk of the performance of the governor. So when you add 1 and 1 together, it's strong. I told you I'm a pastor. The Bible tells me 1 will chase 1,000, and 2 will chase 10,000. So you can imagine now how they now garnered vote easily, just like that now, because they put their acts together. Adeleke is a one-man riot squad, and I'm happy the way Liborous analyzed it very well. For them, they should just go and sleep. There's even I helped them. It gave them hope. There's no hope in their situation. It's a hopeless situation.
Oh my!
It will not be like that woman of Nain that met Jesus Christ at the gate of the city, that all hopes were gone. This one, they have no hope whatsoever. How can they do it? The man that he has already squandered his, what do we call it now?
His birthright.
Not birthright. He squandered his, the opportunity that he has, that the people, if Elisha, your constituency do not vote for you, who will vote for you?
Or what's your electoral value?
Huh?
Okay, Barrister Ogunade, now Governor Adeleke Jackson is back in office, and I'm sure that the people of Osun State will be expecting much more from the governor. If you had to meet with him one-on-one now, what would be your advice to Governor Jackson Adeleke for him to sustain the momentum presently?
Simple. To whom much is given,
much more is expected.
Much more is expected. You put on his thinking cap, roll up his sleeves, and continue to work. Because he's young, and of course the opportunity is there for him. Big opportunities. Big opportunities. So if he gets there and look at our second time, it's the time to relax and enjoy. Be going to Dubai.
Or
be
dance
going
more.
and no, you can dance. No, dancing is not. I'm a dancer too. I told you. Okay. Dancing is exercise. How about see me? I'm slim. Most of my age mates, they are looking. I'm 65. Most of my age mates, they are looking rugged and looking old. But here we are. Dancing is an exercise. It keeps you going. So let him dance the more and work the more. And of course, you can be sure he's going up.
Okay.
Okay, that's about it. Even as we go, does this mean that opposition have hope for 2027 election with the win of Adeleke?
No, I saw their press releases. They are just how do I call it? Daydreaming. They are dreamers. You see, I wish they can go and meet Lai Mohammed to teach them
how to
the
do
strategy of opposition. Haba. Let me be doing it. That is the champion of opposition in Nigeria. And ever Lai left the scene. Look at PDP. One way or the other, they now found themselves in disarray. Can they talk? NDC, they nothing. ADC, nothing. Who will talk? How do they put any structure on ground for opposition? The opposition now on ground is with civil societies. Okay. The political parties have gone to sleep, and you want to win an election. You need to mobilize the people. Meanwhile, challenge them, you political parties who want to win an election. You better set up a voter education department. You don't educate the voters, and you want the voters to be educated. How is that possible?
Okay, and on that note, I want to say thank you very much, sir, for joining us today, Barrister Wale Ogunade, for helping us dissect the Osun Governorship Election.
To God
well,
be the glory.
it has come and gone, but of course, it continues to reverberate across the country what transpired over the weekend. Well, the sad part for me is the number of lives that were lost ahead of this election. I'm not too comfortable with that. Can we have more elections that is more transparent, bloodless elections? Well, time will tell whether we can get to that point in Nigerian politics. We'll take a very short break. Lagos is standing by, very ready to continue with the conversation. Don't go anywhere.